My mom saw that I hadn't found a girlfriend by the time I started middle school. She quickly transferred me to Qingmei's school. Rumor has it that the school beauty here never dates. Her phone's lock screen password is 0101. Her gym uniform number is also 0101. Even her bank card password is 0101. Someone asked her about this number. She just said she likes the 2 digits, 01. Everyone began to guess who could win a high-ranking dormitory. Until I transferred here. Everyone suddenly realized. The name is Zhuang. Because my name is I. On the first day of transfer, I had lunch with my new deskmate Guo Kejun. I rested my chin on my hand. Bored, I stirred in front of me the clear seaweed egg drop soup. Suddenly, a boy next to me pointed behind me and said, "Wow, it's that high school beauty, Gu Wanru." I heard the name Gu Wanru. I heard the 3 words, Gu Wanru. Instantly straightened my back. Followed his gaze. Kejun was startled by my reaction. After calming down, he introduced it to me. That's the goddess of all 13 billion boys in our school. She's a top student and a school beauty who leaves no room for other girls. She caught my attention. Are there a lot of boys in the school who like her? Kejun thought for a moment and gave a very objective answer. Not too many, right? Besides me, you can still count them in the whole school. There are only a few who don't like her. I rested my chin on my hand, with a thoughtful expression on my face. Kejun waved his chopsticks in front of me. You don't have a crush on her, do you? The cunning look in my eyes. Kejun widened his eyes and stared at me. Bro, wake up quickly. Crush your beautiful dreams in their infancy. Don't think that just because you're handsome, you can go and flirt. That person is famously cold and aloof. You can't really say they're easy to approach, though. In fact, she's quite polite to others. But if you dare to flirt with her, just wait to be frozen out. Kejun thought about the outcomes of boys who had confessed to Gu Wanru in the past. He tried hard to stop me. I slightly curled my lips into a smile. What if I did? The 2 boys next to me thought I was joking. Little did they know, I actually stood up. I also casually took the red thermos in hand. Gu Wanru had just sat down after getting her food. She noticed a figure standing beside her. She looked up. There I was, picking up the thermos and sitting down opposite her. Then I slowly called out her name. Gu Wanru. I don't like the color of this thermos. I prefer the color of yours. Can we swap? Except for the turquoise thermos. After speaking, she glanced at the light blue thermos cup beside her. She revealed a lazy appearance. The people around couldn't help but gasp. Where on earth did this guy come from? Is he crazy? He looks quite handsome. How can he be such an idiot? Chang didn't know that Wanru had a quirk. I don't know if it's her inherent strength to buy things. No one is allowed to touch her books. Her outings. None of her things are allowed to be touched either. It became something even more personal. Sanju and Chi-Chi looked at the red thermos cup again. The logo on the thermos probably belongs to the school. The logo is also trembling. But an incredible scene unfolded. Gu Wanru placed her thermos in front of me. Then she took my thermos from my hand. She placed my thermos with her own. She even kindly reminded me. There's a lot of water that was just poured. Be careful when drinking. I leisurely opened it back up. Then thank you. Shortly after, amidst the rising and falling breaths, I turned back to my seat and continued eating. I happily dined under everyone's gaze. After a while, Kejun finally reacted. He shook my arm. Zhang Lingyi, tell me the truth. Can you hypnotize me? Quickly teach me. I glanced at him disdainfully. The other 2 boys couldn't hold back either. They asked in unison. Then how did Gu Wanru end up swapping water cups with you? Probably because of 3. I slowly poured a cup of water from the thermos. I brought it to my lips, took a sip, and replied. Because she likes the color of my thermos. Kejun shook his head. Who would believe that? Then why did she talk to you so much? I let go of the cup and said leisurely. Doesn't she usually not talk to others? Does she know how to speak normally? Kejun shook his head. It's not that he doesn't talk. He just speaks less. Besides answering questions in class, he usually doesn't say more than 3 words. My mood fluctuated. I stirred my drink again. I lifted my cup and took another sip. Kejun twisted open his cup lid. He weakly raised it to my side. Can you pour me some? I directly hugged the cup to my chest. I watched him warily. After that day, everyone started talking about Wanru from Kyoto University affiliated school. She walks around the campus every day with a large red thermos cup. I have to say, as long as someone looks good, it matches any color. As a transfer student, I became the new generation of school heartthrobs, becoming popular throughout the school. I also successfully caught Gu's attention, creating a blaze of popularity, and it has its own momentum. Little did I know this was just the beginning. The next afternoon, Kejun and I went out for lunch. We were walking to digest our food, passing by the gymnastics gym. I noticed it was packed inside, with layers of people blocking every entrance, and cheers occasionally erupted from within. I took a sip of my yogurt, a bit curious if a big star had come to our school. Kejun seemed unfazed. Surely it was a beauty of school goddess level practicing gymnastics. My eyes lit up. I suddenly thought, could it be Duan? Kejun looked at me with difficulty. You can't be serious, right? As my deskmate, he knows me too well. This boy really doesn't lack girls chasing after him. He just transferred here a few days ago. Every morning, love letters appeared in his desk drawer at school, and even the more tangible items were piling up. And I wasn't being vague either. Without even taking off my backpack, I threw everything with both hands, transferring that pile directly from the drawer to the lost and found. I didn't even blink. La Kejun has already ignored Zhao and Kejun. My attention was completely drawn to the people in the gym. The 2 of them squeezed in. I saw that group of people starting to stream outside again. I felt a disappointment. Is it over? Kejun glanced at the time. It was almost time for class. I took a breath. At that moment, Kejun suddenly pulled me down. He gestured for me to look into the gym. Your love rival has appeared. I was stunned and then looked around. Fen Jen. Kejun had a look of helplessness. Our grade's year brother. The two famous top students in the school. Ji-yu Wanru from the high school department. Song Jinian from the middle school department. What? I frowned while biting the straw. I thought it was rice cake. Kejun couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. He let out a snort of laughter. LLFTI no translation available. He looked tall and thin. Dressed in a neat school uniform, he looked very inviting. What was attractive was the aura he radiated. The aura of politeness. Does he also like Shangwan? Kejun nodded. It's more than just liking. They are all high achievers who struggle with loneliness at the top, and uncontrollable mutual admiration from one side. But it's a pity. Ji-yu Wanru might not even know who he is. I watched Song Jin-yen standing in front of Ji-yu Wanru with a bottle of drink in hand, and several others, enthusiastically holding up the drink, handing the drink bottle and towel to Ji-yu Wanru. Ji-yu Wanru glanced at him, taking out a handkerchief from his clothes, wiping the hot water off his face with the handkerchief. Kejun was startled by the fierceness on my face. It's said that people who like to bite straws have a particularly strong possessiveness. Who do you want to possess? As soon as the words were out, I charged forward, clutching the yogurt bottle in my hand. Then she walked away holding a half bottle of yogurt. Yi Wanru. Drink mine. A bottle of yogurt that was half drunk appeared among a bunch of functional drinks. It seemed particularly harmonious. Ji-yu Wanru looked at the straw that was bitten to an unbearable state. She reached out, took it, and lowered her head to sip a few times. Then she turned and tossed it into the nearby trash can. Watching Ji-yu Wanru finish the yogurt, I turned and put my arm around Kejun's shoulder and left, leaving the people on the basketball court frozen in place. A member of the intestine. So Yi Wanru actually likes drinking yogurt. Ji-yu Wanru returned to the classroom quietly and sat down. She opened the red thermos and poured some water several times. Only then did it wash away the sticky, sour discomfort in her mouth. This dog of a man must have done it on purpose. He clearly knows she doesn't like dairy products. But I still sent this for myself to drink. On the other side, Kejun was still in shock, shaking my arm vigorously. Are you crazy? Give the leftover yogurt to Ji-yu Wanru. I replied very seriously. It's not even the leftovers. That yogurt is actually very good. I could have finished it myself. But I gave it to her. Kejun gave a thumbs up, indicating his worship of my logic. Soon it was afternoon. Very soon. Ji-yu Wanru soon realized she had been tricked by me. After class, she just returned to the classroom. The table was piled high with various kinds of yogurt. She looked at her deskmate, Xiao Xiao. She quietly asked her what was going on. Xiao Xiao blinked and replied back. It was sent by several boys. But Wanru, when did you start liking yogurt? Ji-yu Wanru took a long sigh. She has never liked drinking yogurt. Then she slightly frowned. If you like it, then split it into 4. If you don't like it, just throw it away. Don't. It's all the boys' decision. Su Xiaoxiao said this while opening a box and taking a sip. Suddenly, she leaned on the table, holding her stomach. She squeezed out a few words with a face full of fear. Ji-yu Wanru rolled her eyes. Obviously, her best friend wanted to keep it all to herself. So that day's yogurt was completely finished by Xiao Xiao alone. The empty yogurt bottles were in the trash can. This confirmed that Ji-yu Wanru liked drinking yogurt. This rumor kept spreading. When Ji-yu Wanru went to practice gymnastics again, the boys outside had boxes of yogurt in their hands. I finally got to see Ji-yu Wanru practicing gymnastics as I wished. However, this is not my goal. Water bottle. I stood beside Wang, reciting verses inside. I don't know who said she likes to drink this kind of thing. She only drinks plain water. The nearby boys heard this. They all turned their heads to look. I discreetly twisted open the thermos cap. I poured a glass of water and drank it myself. Watching Ji-yu Wanru being surrounded by so many boys, the more I drank, the angrier I got. Kejun looked at me curiously and asked, strange. I didn't see you unhappy last time. Why are you still angry this time in the venue? I gritted my teeth and answered fiercely. I just watched a performance. It's not like it's a private screening. Gao run. C was happy. Kejun thinks this deskmate is really interesting. He forced a laugh and said, you're right. But even if it were a private screening, you probably wouldn't be satisfied. It would be best if they had booked the one practicing gymnastics. I shot a glare at Kejun, but he laughed even louder. Class was about to start. I hesitated and took it from her. The students immediately surrounded her. A group of boys quickly went up to her. I was still angry, standing in place and watching from a distance. He seemed to want to go over to Ji-yu Wanru. Yet, there was inexplicably a warm atmosphere surrounding us. Then she reached out her hand. She placed the cup of water in front of Wanru. I watched her tilt her head back to finish it. Then she returned the cup to me. I hesitantly took it. She then turned around and left. Ji-yu Wanru stared at my back. She returned to the classroom by herself. The two of them interacted the whole time. Yet a strange warm atmosphere flowed around. Tu Xiaojin was in the picture. Tu Shichu. WTDASS. Didn't they say Ji-yu Wanru liked to drink yogurt? Why does she like it again? I know, right? I handed her the yogurt. She drank the one she bought. Kejun also felt puzzled. He caught up and asked me whether Ji-yu Wanru liked drinking yogurt, or if she preferred drinking plain water. I shook the water bottle with a mysterious look. You know, maybe next time she'll like to sing. As for my behavior of flirting and running away, and continuing to flirt the next time we meet, over time, someone started to catch on. These two must already know each other, right? Xiao Xiao heard this and asked her deskmate for confirmation. Gu Wanru nodded. Yes. It's wealth. Su Xiao Xiao continued gossiping. How long have you known each other? Shang Wanru stopped her movements. She thought seriously for a long time, which was rare. Xiao and a few other girls almost echoed in unison. Yi Wanru had a calm expression. I guess so. The loudspeaker's blood situation. Is it a big deal? Within a day, it spread. Kei Zhen stood by my desk with his arms crossed. Zhang Lingyi. You and Gu Wanru already know each other, right? I acted innocently and looked beautiful. A group of boys immediately gathered around. Did you really know each other before? They were too close. I awkwardly moved back. The boys moved closer again. So what is your relationship? She is my sister. They continued to ask. Are you biological siblings? One takes the father's surname and the other takes the mother's? I curled my lips into a smile. She's my half-sister. You don't need to be too upset. You guys should be happy. They're not biological siblings. They're just close. Younger. The Zhang family and the Gu family are considered prestigious families. Gu Wanru's father and my father have known each other since childhood. They've been acquaintances for decades. Connection. So Gu Wanru and I have been playing together since we were little. Someone couldn't help but sigh. I'm so envious. It's nice to have such a good relationship with Gu Wanru. Hearing this made me even happier. You all have wealth. Sister Wanru is really kind. She's beautiful and has a good temper. Most importantly, she looks especially good when she smiles. Kei Zhen couldn't help but interrupt me. You wait a minute first. The person you were talking about is the same person as the Gu Wanru we know? I've never seen Gu Wanru smile. I can't imagine it. Everyone shook their heads. Aside from being good-looking, we really cannot agree on anything else. Is this the same Gu Wanru we see? After class, I mysteriously bounced out beside Gu Wanru. Sister Wanru. Gu Wanru walked beside me. Walk properly. I'm not a little kid. Adults don't drink this kind of thing. Gu Wanru pointed at the sweet milk in my hand. I finished it. Empty milk in my hand. Stuffed into Gu Wanru's school uniform pocket. Gu Wanru looked helpless. After holding it for a while, she couldn't help but laugh. Had been watching from the side. Gu Ru tilted her head and introduced Su Xiaoxiao to me. My deskmate, Zhu Wan. Xiaoxiao pouted. Sharing the same desk. Could it be that the words are for? Gu Wanru directly ignored Su Xiaoxiao and said to me. You don't need to know her name. Su Xiaoxiao chased after us shouting. I haven't said what my name is yet. Have you heard my name? I'm also a prominent figure at school. Although it's more of a figure nobody pays attention to. Su Xiaoxiao muttered sadly. The second class ended on Friday afternoon. According to tradition, there are no classes during the school-wide cleanup. Gu Wanru accompanied me, getting familiar. The campus flag was waving around the school. The two chatted back and forth casually. Gu Wanru tilted her head. Why did you think about transferring schools? I pulled her away to avoid the hole in the ground. We are in the same school now. Because we have to be in the same school. Gu Wanru asked again. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? I answered seriously. I need to assess the enemy situation. Gu Wanru raised her eyebrows. How did the assessment go? It was a bit tiring. They have the numbers, and we are few. Gu Wanru teased. So what should we do? I recalled. Teacher Chen said that when the enemy is many, we should charge forward even more. Gu Wanru was taken aback. Which teacher Chen? I had a mysterious expression. It's teacher Chen Chiuning. Chen Ning Net. Gu Wanru laughed again. Teacher Shin is really skilled. Are you adapting to the new environment? What about the classmates? Are they easy to get along with? The utensils are quite good, right? 4. Not everyone is very stable. Different people can be quite distinct. She's easy to get along with. If you encounter anything, just tell me. Some may be different from your previous school. If you're falling behind, let me know. I'll help you with tutoring. Suddenly, my eyes lit up. Heritage. Gu Wanru nodded with a smile. Any meal is fine. Later that afternoon, witnesses claimed to have seen the aloof school beauty actually smile. She quickly took out her phone to capture the scene. Then she edited a post and uploaded it to the campus forum. The campus beauty of Zhang University actually accompanied the new transfer student around the school. The way she smiles is incredibly beautiful. Of course, this is just how she looks when she's with that transfer student. The school beauty is known to be unapproachable when the transfer student is not around. She's still the one who turns away anyone who gets too close. When other girls call her name, she always frowns slightly. But now, it surprisingly allows for a completely different topic. She responds, Sister Wanru. Because today is Friday, after school. Many people have already gotten it. This post quickly spread. The students all had excited expressions, like they were watching a spectacle. But this excitement completely disappeared after the teacher assigned homework one by one. Completely disappeared. Kei Zhen stared blankly at the blackboard. Hurry up and copy down the homework. It will be erased soon. I still remained motionless. I weakly complained. It's just a 2-day break, right? Why do we have to write so much homework? Then you really need to get used to it. The teachers were still being lenient. Didn't your previous school have that much homework? What will happen if we don't write it? Kei Zhen began to reassess this new deskmate. You transferred to this school to study, right? It really wasn't just to see Zhang Wanru, was it? I continued to stare listlessly at the blackboard. What do you think? I'm too lazy to talk now. The entire weekend. Zhang Wanru spent it all amidst my complaints. She was afraid of delaying my homework, so she didn't ask me to take extra lessons. On Saturday night, she specifically called to ask if I had finished my homework. I answered mumbling with an apple in my mouth. I opened my mouth again. Wanru paused for a few seconds before speaking again. So what have you been doing today? I started listing on my fingers. I got up, and it was already noon. After eating, I watched some TV. Then I had dinner and played on the computer for a bit. I even chatted with you online during that time. You? I'm on the phone with you right now. How could I have time to do homework? Zhang Wanru didn't know what to say. So, do you like Mondays? My voice couldn't hide the joy. I do like it. Because I can see the light. Zhang Wanru didn't say anything. I seemed to hear her let out a vague sigh. She softly muttered something. Then I'll come to find you tomorrow. The third period on Monday morning was originally math class. But the math teacher took a sudden leave, so it became a study period. Wan wrote that Gu Wanru was doing the homework. If a teacher comes, you help me cover up a bit. Su Xiaoxiao had a knowing expression on her face. I just said you went on a date. Gu Wanru glanced at him. Su Xiaoxiao immediately changed her answer. I said you should go to the infirmary. Gu Wanru had a speechless expression. With such creativity, you should get caught every time you skip class. Tell him the correct answer. If a teacher comes, don't say too much. The teacher won't ask me. After saying that, he brazenly walked away. Su Xiaoxiao looked like she had been severely impacted. Covering her chest, she looked left and right. But she couldn't find someone to confide in. She put away her desire to perform. She lowered her head to look at a sports magazine. Gu Wanru arrived at the middle school section. Sure enough, she saw me standing in the corridor by the classroom door. I looked left and right with my head. A meal is not continuous, it breaks apart. The corridor was quiet. He appeared suddenly. Gu Wanru walked closer. Strong boy. I said with a grin. Shu Wang. He stood next to me, sighing. One character is Mom. One character is written as Li. I hated myself and nodded to him. A bit of self-realization. Gu Wanru casually changed the topic. This weekend, there is a performance by Old Master Kong Wansheng. Do you want to go? If you want to go, I can get tickets. I turned to look at him, his eyes full of anticipation. Together with you? Actually, Gu Wanru was quite fond of this person. But the stock lease and strength are good. I like it. I immediately agreed. Section. Smiling. In the next second, my little face came close. I looked at him pitifully. Sister Wanru. I am tired. Gu Wanru was speechless. It spilled. FXNT17. I leaned half my body against him. Sister Wanru, don't you have more homework? Gu Wanru slightly adjusted her posture, so I could lean comfortably. I was a bit confused. Then how did you finish it? Gu Wanru replied calmly. I was immediately taken aback. My face was filled with surprise. Gu Wanru cleared her throat lightly. My teacher won't collect my homework. I seem to have found an ally. Definitely not welcome. Set the noodles. Smiling with ill intentions. I'm not going to spill. Gu Wanru looked down at me. Still want to stand in punishment? Just as the words left her mouth, the class bell rang. One after another, teachers and classmates came out of the classroom. Thus, everyone in the corridor witnessed this scene, and expressed their shock. The heartthrob of the middle school, standing together in punishment with the school beauty from the high school. Moreover, the school beauty showed no sign of indifference or disdain on her face. It seemed she even had a kind of vague, inexplicable affection. Gu Wanru, this earthly fairy, has never kept a record of other classes' affairs. He last appeared in the middle school. It was probably when he graduated from middle school. Now he stands here so grandly. Before long, he attracted a crowd to watch. He doesn't have the hobby of attracting attention. Help me stand properly and pat my back. Let's go back to the seat and rest for a while. I sighed and asked. What about after class? What about the next class? Gu Wanru looked at me speechlessly. Back. Retrieving my breath with my hands. You come with me. What else can we do? Just delivered. Gu Wanru pulled her towards the teacher's office. Almost there, I asked. Do you know which office your homeroom teacher is in? I pointed to the office in front of us. You want to find him, right? Which one? I leaned forward to look and pointed to the window. That thin one. Gu Wanru knocked on the door and pulled me in. We headed straight for that desk by the window. Hello, teacher. The slender Chin Min looked at the two students standing in front of him. One of them was a new transfer student in his class. The other one looked somewhat familiar. He was taken aback for a moment. Hello, classmate, what brings you here? The teacher beside him suddenly laughed and reminded him. Su Min. You don't know him? It's Gu Wanru. Chin Min suddenly understood. You are Gu Wanru. I see. I've heard about you. When you were in middle school, I was teaching in the high school department. So I hadn't seen you before. But I've heard your name. Did you come to see me for something? Gu Wanru nodded slightly. And then I took a look. She is my sister. She just transferred and may not be very adapted to the new learning environment. If she did anything wrong, please don't punish her. You can come to me. I will handle it. I'm in class 7 of the second year of high school. Chin Min, who originally had a very friendly smile, suddenly stopped upon hearing the words class 7 of the second year. They hadn't spoken for a long time. Gu Wanru continued to speak. About her weekend assignments. Could you please inform the other teachers? Don't let her stand for punishment first. Chin Min eagerly nodded in agreement, as if awakened from a dream. All right, no problem. After finishing, she looked at me again. You have been punished to stand. Nodding. Chin Min turned to look at the schedule posted on the table. Let me see, it was Teacher Zhao who punished you, right? Teacher Zhao, well, he is a good person. He is just a bit strict with the students. Standing as punishment also affects listening to lectures. It's okay, I'll greet the other teachers later. Hurry back to class. Ji Wanru was preparing to say goodbye. Then, thank you. We'll be leaving now. Jen Min hesitated for a moment and called out to him. She is from Teacher Ding Shuying's class, right? Yi Wanru nodded. Teacher Ding is our homeroom teacher. Chin Min smiled and said nothing, allowing us to leave. Ji Wanru sent me back to the classroom. It still isn't once. Transferred schools and changed to a new environment. It's still that phrase, it's okay, right? Wanru nodded. She didn't forget to remind me to pay attention in class. To do my homework seriously. Homework. I smiled and said okay. But I didn't know how much I actually absorbed. The next day, early in the morning, Ji Wanru deeply understood me. What that so-called, it's okay, right, actually meant. From a distance, she saw me being stopped at the school gate. A bunch of people. Not behaving properly either. Looking around, not knowing what they were looking for. Pointing at me, he asked a student council member. That girl happened to know Ji Wanru. Echo Senior. Today, the school has an unannounced inspection. She wears a uniform. Ji Wanru spoke nonsense with a calm expression. She is a transfer student. Student color. How about letting her go in first? The girl shyly scratched her head. Transfer student wealth. She didn't say, and I didn't know either. I heard that there is a transfer student. That's him. Well, call him in quickly. I happily ran into the campus. Wanru thanked me. I had been walking the dog for a few days. Walking the dog. Where is your student ID? With a blank expression. I will bring it. Ji Wanru helplessly explained. The student council will periodically check student IDs and badges. You usually keep it in your backpack. Don't take it out. Ji Wanru thought he was reminding her. I shouldn't make a mistake in this regard. Who would have thought that just a day later? I was stopped at the school gate again. Classmate, where's your school badge? I had a confused look on my face. What thing? The girl pointed to the area on her left chest. She repeated the word, badge. I suddenly realized I didn't know. The girl didn't say much either. She handed me a notebook and a pen. Write your name and class here. However, at that moment, my childhood sweetheart. In addition, my sister Ji Wanru had just stepped into the school. She immediately saw this scene. She sighed and took off her school badge. She walked up and handed it to me. She turned around and wrote in the notebook. She wrote down her name and class. Then she pushed me into the classroom. I still looked completely confused. I looked at the badge in my hand and gave a good evaluation. Su Xiaoxiao watched the entire scene. She caught up from behind. With a joyful expression. Sister Wanru, you're in trouble. Wanru's doing her duty. The student council name. You're going to be scolded to death by Lao Ding. I looked at Ji Wanru with concern. Is he very strict? Ji Wanru looked calm. It's fine, just go to class. Ji Wanru said it was nothing. There won't be any problems. Then there won't be a problem. So I smiled and waved my hand to reassure myself. As expected, the morning reading session wasn't over yet. Then Lao Ding came in. He walked around the classroom. I stopped in front of Ji Wanru's desk. Ji Wanru looked up at her. In the midst of the noisy studying voices. Old Ding and the gentle rain of copper. Did you forget to bring your badge? Xiao was just about to. Leaned slightly towards Ji Wanru in an imperceptible way. Answered. Ji Wanru calmly replied. Hearing this, Xiao silently shouted in anger at the teacher. He lied again. Unfortunately, Ji Wanru was usually well-behaved. But some boys can't help but have developing feelings. This has happened before. Where is his test paper? Where is his homework? They mysteriously disappeared. I don't know who hid them away. It's likely the same situation this time. No wonder he feels that way. Old Ding always left a new one on his desk corner. I have some extras here. You can use this one. Ji Wanru nodded and thanked. Thank you, teacher. As soon as it started, Xiao turned around and pointed directly at Ji Wanru. Said, sweet into the way. Nonsense. Even the walls would not agree. I only respect Wanru. Ji Wanru seemed to be oblivious. She lowered her head to read. The middle school's dismissal time is half an hour earlier than the high school's. When Ji Wanru was pushing her bicycle out of the school gate, she saw me standing there. After seeing her, I jogged over to the stomach. Sister Wanru. The driver has other things to do. He couldn't come to pick me up. Can you take me to the subway station? I finally managed to send the family driver away. Just to go home with Ji Wanru. Ji Wanru didn't suspect anything either. Tilt your head and come here. This phrase seems incomplete or unclear. Please provide context for a suitable translation. The busiest time at the school gate. I don't know how many people heard the call of Sister Wanru. I saw Ji Wanru leading me away, familiar with the path. My hand was still intimately placed on Ji Wanru's waist. Truly, some families rejoice while others worry. The girls busily comforted themselves. It's not shameful to lose to Ji Wanru. The boys expressed one after another. It's cheap to be like Zhang Lingyi. Who said he's handsome? Plus, he doesn't have a good dad. I don't know when it started. People at school gradually began to spread rumors. The reason I became the only transfer student in recent years is that my dad donated a building to the school. More people came to verify. Naturally, more people believed it. Yet, there weren't many who studied hard. The image of the rich second generation became more ingrained. The next day during the break, Students sitting nearby were chatting together. As they talked, they shifted the topic to me. Zhang Lingyi, your dad donated a building to the school, huh? I asked in confusion. I don't know. K. Zhen looked at a few malicious girls and waved his hand as if shooing flies. Hey, why are you asking about someone else's family for no reason? Why don't you first tell us what your dad does? Just asking casually. Asking you. What I mean is, my dad, you see, is quite capable, but he doesn't work very hard at his job. Sometimes he almost misses lunch at the office, and sometimes he rushes to work just in time. So, if he doesn't finish his work, he has to stay late into the night. Plus, his income isn't very stable. They would ask, what about your mom? My mom's situation is pretty much the same, but it seems she doesn't earn as much as my dad, because she doesn't give me pocket money as generously as my dad does. Everyone was curious. How could a family like this donate a building to the school? So how did you transfer here? I looked at the puzzled faces in front of me. I don't really know. Faced with such an answer, they indeed felt a bit awkward. Jiyu Wanru, standing outside the window, couldn't help but laugh. Back then, the notorious leader of the Zhang family, Zhang Mubai, and the once famous genius girl, Xia Bingxue. If I had known that one day, I would be misinterpreted by my precious son like this, I probably wouldn't feel motivated to pursue my career anymore. They and I both do not know. For several years now, has become in recent years, a student, who actually got in by my own ability. Zhang Muba originally planned to donate a building to the school, but after they looked at the results from a few years ago, the report card from the international math competitions I participated in, they no longer mentioned the donation of the building. They just let me handle the admission paperwork directly. For this, Zhang Muba even went around boasting about how great his son was, saying he saved money on a building. Thinking of this, Jiyu Wanru raised her hand and tapped on the glass. I, sitting by the window, immediately smiled upon seeing someone approach. I pulled the window open entirely. Half of my body was leaning out. Sister Wanru, are you looking for me? Jiyu Wanru stuffed a thermos box inside. This is what my mom gave you. Heat it up in the cafeteria microwave before eating at noon. At this moment, those who were chatting and joking around all stopped and stared at us. Seeing this, Jiyu Wanru furrowed her brows slightly and spoke up. I'll go ahead. Someone was loudly calling her from outside the window. We'll have lunch together as punishment. I have something to do at noon. You can eat with your classmates. Yi Wanru finished speaking and pointed at me. Back to celebration. I sat back down and quietly murmured to myself. I was rejected. As soon as Jiyu Wanru appeared, everyone's conversations automatically shifted to her. Before she walked far, I faintly heard someone asking me, what does Jiyu Wanru's family do? Uncle Jiyu is especially busy during holidays. Maybe he's in the delivery business. What about Aunt Jiyu? She often drives. Probably something to do with butchering pigs. If the doctor finds out, will there be a reaction? During surgery, they might start pondering, is it braised or stir-fried in a while? As for Minister Jiyu, delivering packages is considered a way to experience life. Jiyu Wanru couldn't help but smile. Her good mood lasted until she returned to class. I finally managed to send that group of people off. When I turned around, I found K. Jen's eyes shining. He was staring at the lunchbox on the table with envy. With a worshipful expression, he was mumbling something to himself. It's made by Jiyu Wanru's mom. She grew up on this. After saying that, he grabbed my hand. Can you share a little with me at noon? I was taken aback and cautiously asked him. You are the luck song. Your exam ranking should be higher. K. Jen grinned and nodded vigorously. Hand. I helplessly spread my hands open. All right then. Jiyu Wanru walked into the classroom through the back door. Xiaoqi was making faces at her. Wanru. Jiyu Wanru just came back from me. She tidied her hair. All right then. Su Xiaoxiao, wide-eyed, shouted nonsense toward the door. Jiyu Wanru said she wasn't there. Jiyu Wanru had something to do at noon. The school's math competition team informed her to have a short meeting at noon. The main idea is that a team member wants to withdraw because they are graduating. Now they need to add a new member. Ask them if they have any good candidates to recommend. Face 1. Jiyu Wanru hesitated for a moment. I know a suitable candidate. A few people present were surprisingly lucky to hear her usually silent self speak so much. The usually reticent Jiyu Wanru spoke so many words in one breath. Teacher Wu, the head of the competition team, looked curious. Which student is it? Jiyu Wanru slowly uttered one word. Teacher Wu turned to look at other math team teachers and asked. Below, students began to whisper. It seems to be the new transfer student from the middle school department. I've heard that their family is quite wealthy. The one who donated a building to the school. I don't know who it is. They spoke back in a tone that was neither too loud nor too soft, sarcastically. Jiyu Wanru. Don't mix personal feelings into this. Jiyu Wanru wasn't angry and calmly replied. I was just making a suggestion. We're not adopting the competition team's suggestions. Teacher Wu looked at her with a somewhat puzzled expression. From the middle school department, huh? Aren't they a bit young? How is their level? Jiyu Wanru's answer was still simple and clear. It seemed to carry a barely noticeable pride as well. Team leader Wu nodded. In that case, Teacher Shu, don't you teach in the middle school department? Let's have her come back and give it a try. Shu, the math teacher from the middle school department, nodded. Teacher Shu then came to my class to find me. She briefly explained the situation and asked, are you willing to join the competition team? Hearing this, I responded lacklusterly. I'm not willing. Teacher Shu looked at me in surprise. It was Jiyu Wanru who recommended you. I thought you also had the intention. Oh, I see. Then I'll think about it. The moment I heard Ji Yuanru's name, my attitude changed immediately. Do you need me to do anything? Seeing my stance, Teacher Shu continued. Just so happens we have a mock training this afternoon. You can come and participate. Let's see the results first. I will inform your homeroom teacher. Do you know how to? Will Wanru be there too? Although Teacher Shu found it strange, she still answered me. She'll join. Upon hearing this, she finally spoke. The second moment, Ji Yuanru went to the training classroom for the competition group. I waited for quite a while. A figure swayed leisurely from a distance. There was no sign of panic. Not a hint of chaos was seen. There was absolutely no panic. I walked straight into the classroom. Ji Yuanru handed me a pen and looked at me helplessly. You should take this a bit more seriously. They're just some practice questions. They're similar to the ones before. You won't have any trouble with them. I nodded with a smile. Sounds good. Then we can hand in the paper early and go have fun. I looked at Shang Wanru's words. I looked at Shang Wanru's attire. I nodded my head in agreement. All right. I know we can't hand in the paper early. Can you sit next to me? Ji Yuanru pointed to my seat. No, you can't. I opened my mouth to make a single sound. Then I reluctantly returned to my seat. The teacher came in holding something. Teacher Feng glanced over and spotted the person Ji Yuanru had recommended. There are some new faces. What's your name? I stood up and answered politely. Hello, teacher. That's a nice name. I smiled. Teacher Feng smiled a bit. Do the new students have any questions? Liaa. I thought for a moment and then asked. May I ask if we can hand in the paper early once we finish? Teacher Chi immediately shut up. The teacher was taken aback. Are you insulting the questions I made? The corner of my mouth twitched. This question will take a moment. The time is almost up. I'll distribute the exam papers first. In the classroom, all that was left was the sound of writing. Ji Yuanru just finished writing the last stroke. Then I heard someone drop their pen. Immediately after, I saw someone raise their hand. Teacher Feng stood up to walk over. Is it a sign of giving up? She looked at me with confusion. Then she turned her head to look at the exam paper on my desk. She glanced over it a few times and then picked it up to take a closer look. Although none of it followed the usual reasoning. But it was all done. And they were all correct answers. You solved them all. Was it not challenging at all? I was lacking interest. What's so difficult about this? Just like that. Teacher Feng was quite taken aback. She found it strange. She deliberately turned to Ji Yuanru's side. It seemed she had also finished long ago. Probably to accommodate the classmates in the same exam room. So they boldly demanded to submit their papers. So they boldly asked her to stop. For the first time, she doubted the difficulty of her own questions. She lowered her head and asked softly. Do you also think this question is easy? Ji Yuanru looked at her but didn't say anything. Teacher Feng, feeling defeated, weakly urged everyone to leave. You should go out too. Holding the two papers, she returned to the podium. She took a look at it and quietly asked her. Did you leak the questions? Teacher Feng was about to slam the table, lowering his voice to shout in anger. Don't insult my character and professional integrity. Teacher Shu mumbled softly. Where would you even find such a thing? At that moment, I mysteriously pulled Ji Yuanru walked to the bottom of the school wall. She had an innocent expression on her face. Yet her mouth was encouraging her to do something bad together. Sister Wanru. I haven't climbed over the wall yet. Now there are fewer people. Let's climb over the wall. Ji Yuanru had an indulgent smile on her face. You rented it out first. Remote control head. Ji Yuanru raised her eyebrows. What's the point of climbing over the wall? I looked at her eagerly. I've never climbed over before. I just wanted to try climbing over the wall. Ji Yuanru pondered for a moment. She looked at me with a doting expression. We climbed up. Then we heard someone below. Who is climbing over the wall? Come down. Which class are you from? Wanru sighed. Wanru sighed and replied. She whispered before jumping down. A little while. I have to say. Ji Yuanru's trick of framing was quite something. It truly can be called a heated situation. The security took us to the security office. He looked at me with confusion. He wondered what was wrong with this boy. Such a feminine name. After asking a few more questions, they finally let us go. I was sent back several times by Ji Yuanru. Restaurant. After saying that, she smiled at her again. Ji Yuanru chuckled and reached out to ruffle my hair. Then thought of something. Her eyes sparkled. She perked up completely. Let's come up with a name. Prepare a name. Ji Yuanru's expression was full of teasing. Bag of air. After she calmed me down. By the time we returned to the classroom, it was already. Still didn't know what had happened. Su Xiaoxiao was chatting passionately with her classmates. I don't know why. She felt that Ji Yuanru's gaze on her was strange. After a while, she heard Ji Yuanru calling her. She pulled out a card from her wallet and handed it to her. I have a swimming pool card here. Valid until the end of this year with unlimited visits. Gave it to her. Really gave it to me. Wanru. How did you know I like swimming? The other students beside him opened their eyes wide in disbelief. Didn't have time to say anything. Just saw Ji Yuanru actually using. It's considered a gentle response from Xiaoxiao. Unusual occurrences surely bring trouble. The other two friends also expressed their protests. Why is it only given to Su Xiaoxiao? I want it too. Ji Yuanru raised an eyebrow. You all want it too. The two of them nodded vigorously. Yeah. Ji Yuanru looked at the two of them meaningfully. There will be opportunities. She still left half a sentence on the tax. Considering my frequency of getting into trouble, it probably won't take too long. Just before the last self-study class ended. Sure enough, I saw Ding Shuying enter the classroom. She went straight to Su Xiaoxiao and tapped on her desk. You come out with me. So Su Xiaoxiao looked confused. She stood up and followed Ding Shuying outside. Ti Ying turned back after taking a couple of steps. Ji Wanru came out too. She appeared calm and composed. The two were in the hallway. The two stood side by side in the classroom hallway. Ding Shuying glared at Su Xiaoxiao. Are you just lazing around with nothing to do? Go climb the wall. It's quite absurd. Name. Ying Da. Yuan Da. Still dare to talk back? Xiao increasingly felt the reward. I really didn't. Ding Shuying didn't wait for her to finish and started to nag. You rebellious students are hard to teach. They can't learn the good things. But why is it so easy to learn the bad things? Xiao completely didn't know what was happening. How did I get reprimanded for no reason? Ding Shuying didn't want to hear her explanation and waved her hand dismissively. One assignment. Submit a draft first. Over 800 words. Give it to me by tomorrow morning. Xiao looked down at Ding in despair. Eventually, Ding calmed down. Think about it a bit. Little did she know that as soon as she opened her mouth, Ji Wanru caught her hand without showing any expression. She scratched her head. She burned her brain. Looking at the unusually silent Ji Wanru beside her. Remembering that swimming card. Even a fool understands what happened. She's indirectly volunteered to take the blame for someone else. And what about Ji Wanru? Ding Shuying seemed to just recall Ji Wanru. Oh, Wanru, go back. Porridge. You go to the math group first. Teacher Wu is looking for you. She is resisting unfair treatment with all her might. Why did she write that? Ding Shuying shot her a glare. Pay attention from now on. Don't lead Ji Wanru astray. Want to cry but can't. Who is leading whom astray anyway? When Ji Wanru arrived at the math group, Teacher Wu was reviewing my exam paper. Taking off his glasses, he asked straightforwardly. Ji Wanru. Who is this person? He has extremely high talent. He participated in some top TA competitions 2 years ago as an exception. His performance is not bad at all. Ji Wanru pondered for a moment. She slowly listed a few terms. First prize in the provincial math competition. National champion in Olympiad mathematics. Gold medal in the international mathematical team competition. A truly top-level Grand Slam event. Teacher Wu was delighted. Are you talking about her or yourself? Ji Wanru replied slowly. Any award I have ever received. He has basically won all of them. Teacher Wu has researched these competitions quite a bit in the past couple of years. It seems like he doesn't have much of an impression. Checkbox would check in. Well, later she found it interesting. So she didn't participate anymore. Teacher Wu nodded, thinking he was a promising talent. The young man is indeed quite smart. However, his intelligence is quite different from yours. He has a unique way of thinking. Ji Wanru understood Teacher Wu's meaning. She hesitated before leaving. A rare person. And there's a hint of self-deprecation in her words. We are still somewhat different groups. I excel at applying techniques. He is gifted by nature. And those unspoken prides. Given time, he will definitely surpass everyone in mathematics. Ji Wanru discovered my sensitivity and talent for numbers even before my parents did. She realized my sensitivity and talent for numbers. So a long time ago, while she was training herself, she paid great attention to nurturing the potential. At that time, she encouraged me to participate in summer camps and various competitions. First, to meet people. Second, to get to know them. Don't stand still. I seemed unaware of my talent in mathematics. I felt that it was quite normal. I thought about singing. I didn't fake it or feel proud. An hour later, I was following Ji Wanru's side. I traveled across the sea to participate in those competitions. I wouldn't feel trapped. Just keep playing for so long. I asked her, Sister Wanru, why can't we submit the paper early? Sister Wanru, why does this question look so difficult for others? Sister Wanru, why are all the simple questions there for so long waiting for others to finish? Ji Wanru and I during the first segment, participating in a world-class event. We were both quite young. We were both given special permission to participate in a crisis. I'm not the type to easily fit in with everyone. Many people had a poor first impression of me. Those who don't know me might find me arrogant and unlikable. So on the plane, I started chatting online with a teammate. After arriving at the hotel, the conflicts actually intensified. The captain and vice captain were both troubled by this scene. Before the second routine, the second round, Ji Wanru reminded me, people will only affect the performance. Arguing with others will affect my emotions, which in turn can affect my performance in the exam. I waved my hand dismissively. No way. I'm fine. Ji Wanru glanced in a certain direction. She would be affected. With a displeased expression. It's enough that you care about me. Ji Wanru patted my head to comfort me. What we are participating in this time is a team competitions related to national honor. You know that, right? I blinked my eyes. And it became public. Do you know? Mathematics has always been our country's strong suit. But our country hasn't been in the top 3 in group rankings for several years. Speaking of this, Ji Wanru's expression became serious and solemn. The goal of this competition isn't for you. And winning the gold medal isn't about me winning it either. It's about the team championship that must be left for Wagwo. This is also the reason why our instructor insisted against the odds for the two of us to compete. Team rankings. No matter how good we are, we can only achieve 2 perfect scores. We need to find a way to compete against the 6 from other countries. So we need her. If she is affected and underperforms, our scores will be impacted. Even if we win and other competitors get individual gold medals, that would still be a loss. In the car, her voice was very low. But the team leader and deputy leader in the front row, I still vaguely heard a few key words. The deputy leader also lowered his voice to ask the team leader. These are what you told her. The team leader shook his head. These two are still quite young. They have little experience in competitions. I was already worried about their mental resilience. How could I dare to say these things to them and give them pressure? The deputy leader quietly gave a thumbs up. This Gu Wanru is not very old. Yet she is calm and composed. She is knowledgeable and sensible. I wonder how her family taught her. Chuang smiled. The most important thing is that, NHEIA. I have a bit of his stock. It's all thanks to Wan. I have been well taught in understanding and big picture thinking. I was still well guided by my parents. The entire itinerary was indeed quiet. Completely quiet. Even if the other side occasionally pressed a glance. I have little interest in the opening ceremony. I occasionally take a look. I will ask Gu Wanru later. They are back. Gu Wanru quickly understood what I was asking and answered. Among the contestants from several countries, she saw familiar faces among the team leaders. The little boy didn't understand why they were representing other countries in the competition. Gu Wanru paused for a moment. This matter is somewhat complicated. One can only say that everyone has their own aspirations. Ji knew I raised an eyebrow and hummed a bit. Who would have thought I could hum a tune? HMPH, don't you know? It must be that the country gave them benefits. If I were to become a very impressive person, even if other countries tempted me, I still wouldn't be swayed. I want to stay in my own country. Gu Wanru smiled. This is largely thanks to my father, Zhang Mubai. He has always been committed to giving me the best of everything. Having seen the best, what others offer no longer holds any allure. She shook her head. It's not entirely for this reason either. We must respect their choices. You will understand this later. I nodded as if I understood. This top TA competition can be considered a peak showdown of various geniuses. It is rare to see such young children here. It is a challenge to both energy and physical strength. So the competition hasn't even started yet. Gu Wanru could see from the other national team members' faces a hint of disdain and ease. She knows. I will make sure they can't laugh. On the first day, never. Gu Wanru looked at something with a sharp gaze. I woke up in the morning. The morning grumpiness was unprecedentedly heavy. It was frustrating before entering the exam room. It would always come to this. Eventually, it would be known later. Gu Wanru patted my head. I rubbed my eyes and answered. Sleepy, hungry, and tired. Blessing, drink water. Handshake. The second day came. I still rubbed my eyes and gave this answer. The head and assistant team leaders saw my expression. Their hearts sank for a moment, forgetting everything else. Gu Wanru, however, was not too concerned either. She casually asked at the dining table. Everyone has completed it all. Nodded slightly. Sister Wanru, how about you? Gu Wanru also nodded. I completed everything too. We spoke in low voices. Yet we still attracted a teammate from our group. The third question from yesterday and today's first question, you all completed as well. Gu Wanru replied with an UHHUH. Oh no, that's bad. I might only be able to get a net score. Gu Wanru calmly analyzed the relationship. It's estimated to make most national teams fail. Getting 1 or 2 items would already be great. A few days later, in the early morning, the official website released the results. That year, the Wa country team held their head high before the world. After several years of silence, they finally returned to the peak. Not only did Gu Wanru and I sweep the individual full scores, the huge gap between those two questions, it also allows the Chinese team to maintain a significant lead in points. They became the rightful world number 1. Later, I participated in the competition again. Gu Wanru and I became familiar with it. She gradually realized, I am not gifted. It is instinct. An instinct for numbers. It wouldn't change anything because of those competitions. I can only say, sometimes, heaven rewards you with a meal. It really can be stopped. But I don't like it. It's just because of Wanru and those 3 people. So, that determined me. As long as I can be by her side, I can go anywhere and do anything. My feelings for her are so pure and beautiful. There isn't a trace of impurity. Gu Wanru. Over time, she stopped encouraging me to participate in competitions. But now it's different. Since I switched schools and came here, I have to make some sacrifices to gain something. That rebellious spirit in me. And the nonconformity and uniqueness. With my carefree and open personality. Let me accept that kind of senior year. I am unwilling to endure life like hell. Let me participate in a few more national competitions. If the policies are favorable by then, I could secure a direct admission slot. I could save a lot of effort. Besides being greatly impacted, this line seems to be incomplete. The students taking the mock tests in the same venue. And the teachers who said the questions. The publisher. She looked at the exam papers of other students, hoping to regain a shred of confidence. A teacher from the same office curiously asked her, Teacher Feng, how is that Zhang Lingyi? Well, the situation is a bit complicated. Her abilities won't lose to Gu Wanru. She's not just formidable. She's simply a genius. But this genius is rebellious. When Gu Wanru appeared back then, it gave her the feeling that a max-level boss was slaughtering newbies in the village. Now that I've arrived, it gives her the feeling that a max-level boss has brought along a max-level killer seed. On Saturday night, Gu Wanru took me as promised to see Kong Wansheng's performance. I found a spot to sit. I started eating and drinking again. Leah. I frowned. Through the table, I called to Wanru. Sister Wanru, I want to go to the bathroom. Gu Wanru pointed towards the restroom. Go quickly. So dazzlingly bright. I quickly ran out. Qin Liji frowned and glanced over. I clumsily ran away, my bag disappearing. I pulled my companion up to the second floor. I was already late when I left. The road was congested again. My mood got even worse. I almost got bumped by Zhang Ling again. He transferred the anger he was holding inside onto me. My good mood was ruined. Qin Liji felt that I shouldn't have gone out today. Nothing was going well. Little did I know, as soon as I sat down, I was attracted by the front row. A young figure caught my attention, occupying the best spot in the whole venue, sitting gracefully among the group. Among the people, her light was strikingly noticeable. Among the elderly, she stood out prominently. You could only see her profile. Even the shadows couldn't hide her delicate beauty. It was as if she was naturally a dazzling person. He instantly lost interest in watching the show. His eyes were glued to that figure, unable to look away. After a while, he saw the boy he nearly bumped into at the door, sitting next to that girl. They looked like they were siblings, an older sister and a younger brother. He was staring in a daze. Suddenly, his companion gently nudged him. Look over there. Qin Liji, feeling guilty, quickly averted his gaze. He turned to look at his companion. What's wrong? His companion surprisingly pointed at that figure. Qin Liji's heart skipped a beat. Do you know her? His companion replied. I know her. But she doesn't know me. She's the face of the school next door, the prestigious high school. A ice-cold school beauty. Qin Liji asked. How do you know? One time I went to the affiliated school to meet a classmate. Qin Liji scratched his head and continued to ask. What's her name? Does she have a boyfriend? The companion shook her head. I don't remember. I also haven't heard of her having a boyfriend. But if you ask around a bit, you'll find out. Maybe the two of them were a bit cheerful in tone. Someone in front turned back to look at them. The two stopped talking and focused on watching the show. Ji Wanru still didn't know. She came out just to cheer me up. But she was targeted by someone. On Monday morning, the competition group notified me that I was accepted. I actually felt something myself. I initially thought that participating in this competition would allow me to see Ji Wanru more often. However, reality was different from what I imagined. Every time I went to training, I hardly exchanged a few words with Ji Wanru. Instead, Kei Jen looked at me in surprise while holding her arm. Zhang Lingyi, you joined the math competition group. I was so uninterested that it's for. Kei Jen was even more amazed. That's the crazy group. Only the top student Fang Kaya is in the entire middle school division. I propped my chin up with one hand and replied casually. Is that impressive? Kei Jen had a look of admiration on his face. Is Ji Wanru there? It's all just small coffee tables. Let me put it this way. Participants in these types of competitions can be roughly divided into two major camps. Ji Wanru and the others. The individual competition is, of course, her time to showcase her flashy dominance. In the team competition, she also led the rhythm to secure first place. A name ends with a hint. That sister Wanru must be working hard. I want to help her out in the future. Kei Jen was now holding me excitedly like I was a treasure. I should have known you were a fake slacker and a real top student. What do I even have to do with Ji Wanru's fairy aura? I'll just cling to your thigh. I looked at her excited eyes. The math competition group is doing daily tutoring and training. I felt a rush. The blackboard. Feng Fei knocked on the blackboard. Why is there another rush? These few blew away. No direct translation, used for emphasis. The classmates sitting below. You look at me, I look at you. Then they all looked at Ji Wanru. Ji Wanru seemed oblivious and did not express her stance. Her behavior, however, was quite arrogant. Although she was sitting here, she was doing English problems. Feng Fei didn't get a response and turned to ask Fang Yi. Zhang Lingyi is in the same class as you. He is very strong. I know. He still has a sense of discipline. Then we should be like that too. Later we should stand out. Come if you want, or don't come at all. The excitement was palpable. Ji Wanru raised her brows slightly. He doesn't need training. He does these things as easily as doing 11 equals 2. There was a movement. It will hit people when it comes. Feng Fei's anger was extinguished, yet he began to bleed. Ji Wanru, you might as well not. Don't live. Don't like to talk. So sharp-tongued as soon as she speaks. After the tutoring session, Ji Wanru slowly packed her things to go back to her class. As soon as she exited the tutoring room, she was stopped by Fang. Just when she was about to leave, Fang blocked her. Ji Wanru. What do you mean? Ji Wanru looked down at the boy blocking her, avoiding her hand. She left without looking back. I can find 100 reasons every day to look for Ji Wanru. It's not that few. They all come to borrow from Ji Wanru. I came to ask Ji Wanru because I picked up a water bottle. Our class's drinking water is number 7. Can I come to your class to fetch some water? Su Xiaoxiao, sitting in her seat across the window, couldn't help but laugh. You traveled thousands of miles from the Tang dynasty to the west, all just for a bit of water. Can't you make some connections along the way? She just smiled and ate. Turn around and go to the back of the classroom to get me some water. The meal has not been served yet. She pouted, swaying left and right. Sister Wanru. My mom's essay on Earth Day. My mom's Earth Day essay. The second term seems to be a typo. Our Chinese teacher is super strict. Strong welcome. Every student in the school has to write an essay about Earth Day. Ji Wanru's first reaction was to give her own essay. Suddenly remembered again. Her essays are often used as model examples. The Chinese department teachers will definitely notice. So she turned to look at Su Xiaoxiao, who was enjoying the commotion by the window. Su Xiaoxiao covered her face in terror, holding the table. Aren't you for? There are different genders in humanity. Old Ding is also super strict. Ji Wanru graciously gave her 2 words. Bring it here to drink. Su Xiaoxiao trembled as she took out her essay paper and handed it to her, staring blankly as she watched me take the reasoning. Ran away. It got higher. There are 3 minutes until the next class starts. Is it still too late for her to rewrite it now? Ding Shuying came in with the textbooks. The group leader first collected the Earth Day essays assigned last time. Write down the names of those who haven't submitted. Name of the little classmate. Full name of the little classmate. Recorded by the group leader for submission. Ding Shuying held the list of students who hadn't submitted their homework. What about yours? Su Xiaoxiao stood up, gritting her teeth, and answered pointedly. Chewed by a dog. Ti Ying slapped the table. You must be that dog, right? MXED. Wronged like a 200-pound child. With a pained expression, silently enduring the criticism. Luckily, there's a lot of content in this class. Let her quickly make up a copy to hand in. Xiaoxiao lay there crying, remembering the essay content while writing on the essay paper. When Ding Shuying passed by the windowsill, she grimaced and reminded Su Xiaoxiao again. Submit it to my desk before the end of the afternoon class. After saying that, she looked at Jiyu Wanru with a warm expression. Maybe they feel this student really doesn't talk much. Just trying to make conversation. Are you feeling too tired lately? You should rest earlier instead of studying too late at night. Su Xiaoxiao kept her head down. It wasn't until Ding Shuying walked away that she threw her pen and shouted. Where is she tired? She sleeps earlier than anyone else. Wealth. Why'd I have to sit at the same table with someone like this? The heavens want to doom me. Jiyu Wanru silently pushed a shopping cart in front of her. She instantly quieted down. Welcome. What is your name? I was inspired by the last wall climbing incident. After a moment, she quietly answered. Shu Xiao. The guard looked at me and didn't suspect anything. He handed me a notebook. Write down your name and class. Morning reading class. I quietly came over to find Jiyu Wanru. I quietly discussed this with her. I quietly shared my views on this matter with her. Jiyu Wanru nodded in agreement. Just let me go back and attend class properly. Watching. Staring at her angrily. She turned to look at Jiyu Wanru. Seeing her smile that seemed to condone the villain. She understood that and the others were being scolded. She comforted herself in her heart. Luckily, it was just being late. Ding Shuying felt like her lungs were about to explode from anger. You dare to be late just because I wasn't here one morning. If I don't come for a week, are you planning to cause a big fuss? I'm asking what's going on with you lately. Problems keep happening. Don't delay Jiyu Wanru's studies. Xiao Xiao trembled slightly, holding in the pain inside. She is a disaster. Jiyu Wanru is so foolish that she actually helps the villain. Please let that foolish ruler spare us. We need to study hard. After selling Xiao Xiao, I finally adapted to the new campus life. Learned how to wear the school badge. Doing homework. There was very little left. Not much good. The little demon of the world. The weather is gradually getting hotter. The restless hearts of the young boys and girls are slowly settling down. They're eager to move. It's break time. Su Xiaoxiao ran in from outside with an excited expression. Big gossip. Does anyone want to hear? Wanru remains unperturbed in the face of a mountain collapsing. She is not interested at all. Not interested in the slightest. Suddenly, Xiaoxiao felt a bit deflated. Like a deflated balloon. Her voice was filled with disappointment. Forget it, I don't want to think about it. While saying this, she dramatically shot a glance at Jiyu Wanru. Jiyu Wanru glanced at her. Seeing her struggle was really uncomfortable. Go ahead, speak. As soon as she spoke, her words hadn't even landed. Su Xiaoxiao instantly regained her excitement from when she entered. Top student Fang Yi from the junior high has declared war on Zhang Yi. They are betting on whose score will be higher in the midterm exams. Jiyu Wanru had a calm and unbothered expression. Xiaoxiao said, Wanru, aren't you worried about your little one? Yi Wanru paused and replied, RMETA, I can hear it clearly. Can check. Small to large is acceptable. Fanji has been like this since childhood. Jiyu Wanru said leisurely. That's because I haven't encountered it yet. Shu Xiaoxiao opened her mouth. Isn't that too short? She still has tea. She really wronged Jiyu Wanru. She is a bit deliberate or targeting someone. It's just pure favoritism towards me. Open and honest to the core. So honest that it can't be more so. She just thinks I'm good. Her thinking is very simple. I am her favorite. In her eyes, there's only Zhang. I didn't bring this up in front of Jiyu Wanru. Jiyu Wanru pretended not to know either. Fanji was stimulated by the math competition, studying even harder. But I'm still idly passing the days, eating and playing as I please. Except for the class time, the personnel are slightly delayed. After school, they don't even take their textbooks home. Before the midterm exams even begin, they're already bothering K. Jen asked if the school usually has a few days off after the exams. Will there be any assignments or anything like that? Secretly thinking about where to go play with Jiyu Wanru during the break. Wanru was calculating in her heart. Besides math and English, I have issues with other subjects. I probably don't understand the other subjects at all. Overall, I might just barely pass. Tuesday is the big cleaning day for the whole school. Jiyu Wanru was wiping the windows with a cloth. Su Xiaoxiao jumped in directly from the other windowsill. She ran in, breathless. Wanru, you should hurry to the stadium and take a look. Your little one got kicked by a soccer ball. Upon hearing this, Jiyu Wanru threw down the cloth. She ran through the crowd doing the cleanup towards the soccer field. The soccer field is in the center of the stadium. As soon as Jiyu Wanru entered, she saw a crowd surrounding the track. She quickly ran over and pushed through the crowd. Then she saw me sitting on the ground with my head down. My desk mate next to me was still facing a man holding a soccer ball with a stern look. Is he kicking the ball or kicking people? That boy looked very apologetic. I don't know how many times he has apologized. I'm sorry. Gu Wanru squatted down. She placed her hand on my shoulder. I raised my head, looking pitiful. I raised my head pitifully. Sister Wanru. Gu Wanru gently touched my head and asked softly, "Did you hit your head? Let's see." She carefully touched the right side of my head. Gu Wanru grabbed my hand, gently covering the bruise. She frowned instantly. As expected, there was a bump. A big bump. She quickly bent down to help me up. "I'll take you to the infirmary first to take a look." She lowered her head and rubbed her cheek against my forehead. Her voice softened. "It's all okay now. Ling Yi, be good." After saying that, she instructed K-Jen. "Could you help her take a leave?" K-Jen was stunned by Gu Wanru's gentleness. He stared in shock. He snapped back to reality when he heard her speaking to him. He stammered in response. "Okay." Then he turned to look at the faces of those around him. Indeed, he wasn't the only one shocked. The standard of the school infirmary is truly unimpressive. Gu Wanru was worried and planned to take me to the hospital for a checkup. She supported me as we went to the hospital. Every once in a while, she would ask me if I felt dizzy or tired. A smile quickly returned to my face. After finishing the checkup at the hospital, Gu Wanru confirmed several times. She took me home. I looked up and asked her, "But my backpack is still at school." Gu Wanru extended her index finger and made a "for" gesture. "Take it back, I'll study." But someone declared war on me. It is said that he's a super talented student. Gu Wanru held my hand as we walked out of the hospital. The sunset had already appeared on the horizon. Our shadows, leaning together, stretched long and far. After dropping me off, Gu Wanru went home. When I entered, the dishes were already on the table. She washed her hands and went to help set the table. Sweetie suddenly called her. Gu Wanru. How does that saying go? It's when your mom calls you by your full name. She looked up and met Sweetie's gaze steadily for a long time. Then she turned away indifferently. It's unnecessary. Sweetie replied. She turned around and went into the kitchen. When she came out again, all four of us had served ourselves. While eating, Mom Gu casually asked, "I heard you went to the hospital with a boy today." Gu Wanru's answer was as concise as ever. Su Yi put down her chopsticks. "Did you secretly taste the fruit?" Gu Wanru didn't even raise an eyebrow at this. Thought. Relationship. You should tell Mom. After all, it's the fervent age of youth. As she spoke, Su Yi exchanged a glance with Gu Ziyuan. Dad and Mom can understand. Gu Wanru decided to fight back. "You used to do this back in the day." Su Yi, looking defeated, complained to Gu Ziyuan. "Your daughter. She's just too reserved and calm. When pushed, she can bite. It's not fun at all." Gu Ziyuan smiled reassuringly. Then he turned to his youngest son. "You start a topic. Everyone has to participate." Gu Chiyu frowned. After much pondering, he finally came up with a topic. "Sis, I heard Zhang Ling transferred to our school." Before Gu Wanru could say anything, Su Yi asked. "Really, it's true. How did you behave when she came over for dinner last time?" Gu Wanru continued to eat with her head down. "There's nothing much to say." Gu Ziyuan cleared his throat lightly. Gu Wanru looked at him. She showed absolute respect to the head of the family. I was involved. The conversation was completely dead. The other three decided to focus on eating. The midterm exams were starting soon. Physical exhaustion was severe. I slept at home for 2 days before I started to feel better. When the break was over and I returned, the results were released. Indeed, some families were happy while others were worried. The math test papers were distributed first. I scored full marks and ranked first in my grade. It said I scored exactly the same number of points higher than the second place, Fang Yi. 1 copy. Not 1 point more or less than her. The math teacher was as happy as could be. I didn't know how much time had passed during one class. I don't know. After one class, I didn't know how long it had lasted. K-Jen was about to offer me up like a trophy. Holding my test paper, he had stars in his eyes. "Your math score is even higher than the top students. I'm trying to figure out what noon is. Obviously a bone." K-Jen almost lost his temper. He looked at the double-digit score on the exam paper and blamed me. "Where is it easy?" I answered casually. "It's simple everywhere. How did you even learn math?" "Just like that. It comes naturally." K-Jen decided not to talk to me until lunch. When the class bell rang, I finally made a decision. To find Sister Wanru to eat together. As each subject's exam paper was handed out one by one, K-Jen's gaze towards me changed, taking advantage of the break to roast me mercilessly. "Young master, your scores are way too deceptive. The top student and the slacker can switch freely. With your roller coaster-like grades, where does your confidence to challenge come from?" I rubbed my eyes and yawned. K-Jen suddenly pointed out the window. "Fang Yi is here." I leaned on the table, looking at the symptoms. I sprawled on the table. Fang Kaya walked to the window and got straight to the point, holding the report card, beaming with pride. No translation needed. The answer doesn't care about my response. Back then, the battle was so straightforward. I wonder what rank I got. Let's see how many ranks and wealth I have. 1,300. I lazily raised my eyes to look at her. "You got first place. Hurry and find Gu Wanru. She wants to apologize to you." Fang suddenly realized. "You have been in it from the start." I scoffed. "What does it matter to you? Who told you to be foolish? Probably never encountered someone like me before." Fang Yi was so angry her face turned pale. I waved my hand to shoo her away, not forgetting to mock her. "Do you have children?" "It's nothing. Go find Gu Wanru quickly. Let's see if she pays you any mind." Fang Kaya naturally didn't dare to find Gu Wanru. Be a gossip queen. Still, he quickly relayed the news to her. Gu Wanru smiled. As expected. Hadith. How could she not understand? Her unconventional personality is just like her father's. She wouldn't suffer for any reason, would she? Xiao Xiao had a puzzled expression. Ji Wanru glanced at her. You don't understand her at all. You don't. Xiao Xiao showed a hint of sadness. Then there was another sigh. It's unknown whether it's about studying or the little head. Not sure if it's about the big or small devil. Not sure if it's about college health. Who knows how he'll ridicule your little devil. He might be lying down and crying. Ji Wanru wasn't bothered at all. Even if I came in last in the exam, others can show off in front of me. It's probably that one who will cry. When school was over, the bell hadn't rung yet. Ji Wanru saw me pacing back and forth outside her classroom. As soon as the class started, I picked up my backpack and came out. She reached out her hand and looked at me. Bring me the report card, let me take a look. I pouted and pulled out a sheet from my pocket. I handed her the neatly folded paper. Ji Wanru quickly found my name. She carefully looked through the grades for each subject. Full marks in mathematics. I only scored a few points in physics and chemistry. I thought my English would be worse. English. It wasn't good enough. I was translating. I was explaining from the side. I lost a lot of points on my English essay. Did the teacher say my grammar was too bad? The teacher said. The Chinese teacher said my writing was good. Luckily, you forced me to write well when I was young. Ji Wanru patted my head. Give me the report card. Let's sort it out. I had a delayed reaction. Watching Ji Wanru's expression. I carefully observed Ji Wanru's expression. Ji Wanru took my backpack. She pulled me outside and chuckled softly. She pulled me and let out a light laugh. What else is there? I asked while laying out a breath. Am I embarrassing you? Ji Wanru looked at me somewhat perplexed. Luck. Kind of talk. Actually, these stocks are of no use. Actually, this week, I'm still not in a good mood. But you always get first place. Ji Wanru pondered for a moment. I tried to explain it this way. See if you can understand. Every exam, I just want to see how many of my predicted questions will be right. And to see where my limits are. I stopped in my tracks, my expression subtle. Looking at her like she was a monster. A word. After a long while, just 2 words. The midterm exams passed quickly. The battle between Fang Yi and me for the midterms was forgotten by everyone. Fang Qi's status as the top student in the middle school was unshakable. I was still that handsome little rascal without a care in the world. And the odd Ji Wanru did not become anyone's trophy. I gradually adapted to life at the affiliated school. Ji Wanru also gradually heard my name from many people. One afternoon, when she returned to the classroom, she bumped into a group of people laughing and chatting. As they brushed past, I suddenly heard my name. Isn't that the little campus heartthrob? No. That guy doesn't give me any face at all. Ji Wanru suddenly stopped. She turned her head to look at them. The group didn't even notice. They kept talking as they walked away. Do you need help? How can I help? How about scaring her a little? How do we scare her? It's easy. Just do it like this. A few of them kept talking as they walked further away. However, Ji Wanru frowned. She didn't go directly back to the classroom. Instead, she took a detour to my classroom. From a distance, she saw me leaning over. I was on the windowsill, smiling at her. Sister Wanru. She came closer and patted my head. Wait for me after school so we can go home together. I looked at her in confusion and asked, what do you mean? Wanru didn't elaborate. Is there a reason? I asked a bit presumptuously. So will you pick me up for school too? Ji Wanru replied cheerfully, with a definite answer. I have a family. Is it like that? Will it be like this from now on? I cheered happily for a moment. I really love going to school. K-Jen looked at this faux academic and true slacker beside him. The average online time during class was only a little over 10 minutes, and yet he says he likes going to school. Why does he not believe that? For several days, Wanru came home later than usual. Coming home late seemed to have become the norm. That day, as soon as she walked in, she heard her father sitting on the sofa ask, why have you been coming home so late lately? Ji Wanru bent down to take off her shoes and put on slippers. I had something to take care of. Ji Ziyuan seemed quite interested. What was it? Ji Wanru answered expressionlessly. I was taking a little friend home. To her surprise, Ji Ziyuan even made a joke. Side job. How are the benefits? Ji Wanru suddenly raised her voice and called out from the study to Ji Ziyuan. Mom, I saw Dad smoking in the community garden yesterday. Sui Yi quickly came out to check on the father and daughter and asked Ji Ziyuan. You smoked again. My stomach feels better. Ji Ziyuan also remained calm and tried to divert the topic. We can talk about this later. Your daughter is dating early. Sui Yi gave her a glance. Daughter's matters are always priority. In the daily unreasonable fussing, Ji Wanru successfully avoided it. She silently entered her own room. That night before going to sleep, she wanted to go to the living room to get a glass of water. She opened the door handle a crack. She heard Sui Yi's gentle voice. Are there any tricky issues at work recently? The living room only had the wall lamp on. Ji Ziyuan had one arm around Sui Yi, with the other hand holding the TV remote, flipping through the channels casually. Flickering lights danced around the silhouettes of the two. Sui Yi's whole body nestled in her embrace. She wrapped her arms tightly around her neck and looked up at her. Hearing this, Ji Ziyuan tossed the remote and hugged her a little tighter. He leaned down, gave her a kiss, and asked with a smile. Why do you ask that? Are you secretly smoking? Ji Wanru smiled slightly. This was in stark contrast to her earlier fierce questioning. Her mother truly understood the art of husband-wife relationships. She heard some unusual noises. The voices of the two would also. Come on, didn't you say you were tired? That's why we need to do something exciting to relax a bit. Your kids are still at home. They went to bed early. The sound of their conversation gradually faded away, replaced by other sounds. The figures of the two people also sank into the sofa. Gu Wanru's hand was still resting on the door handle. She looked down at the cup in her hand expressionlessly. Never mind, maybe I shouldn't drink it. Silently closing the gap of the door, Gu Wanru stepped back. She lay down on the bed and had just closed her eyes. This line appears to be incomplete. When it rang, it was the call I made to her. Sister Wanru, are you asleep? I was getting ready to sleep. Why are you still awake? I accidentally bumped into. I don't know why. Gu Wanru suddenly understood me. It should be a similar experience to hers. I don't know why, but I strangely asked, where are you? The next second, she covered her face and coughed lightly, asking why I was asking that. I quickly answered, on the balcony. Actually, I hadn't seen anything either. I felt something was off, so I came back. A balcony. A living room. Today's parents, you know. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. The two of them fell silent for a long time. Gu Wanru finally mustered up a sentence to break the silence. That indicates they are still young. That's a good thing. I have a strong thirst for knowledge. 7HT74. Gu Wanru suddenly lost her voice. She rubbed her brow with her hand. Quickly interrupted me. It's time to sleep. We have class tomorrow. I turned over and sat up. But I can't fall asleep.